I'm Bige and this is Nicole, and we're going to be the host for Your LexPD. This is our very first episode, and what a better way to start than to start where careers begin with the Lexington Police Department, and that's at the Lexington Police Department Training Academy.
And who better to interview first than the top cop himself, Chief Lawrence Weathers.
So let's go inside and have a conversation with Unit 1. All right, the 8th chief with the Lexington Police Department since the merger of the Lexington government in 1974, Chief Lawrence Weathers.
How you doing, sir?
Great.
Man, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm outstanding.
Well, we appreciate you being on our very first episode of Your LexPD, and what a better way to start, right? Absolutely. And we appreciate your support on the show as well, because we've got all kinds of plans for the show, actually highlighting officers, specialized units, community partnerships, all the different things that we do is going to give the public a really good view of the Lexington Police Department.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you having me here, but you got to know, my support for your show really depends on how well you all do today.
We got a little pressure, right?
No pressure.
Okay. All right.
We all have a vested interest in this doing well. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we've got a lot of things we want to talk about today. Obviously, the current state of the Lexington Police Department, what's going on in the city right now, looking forward, what's going on, but we got to start at the very beginning, right? So I know you grew up in Lexington, and you probably got some stories you might want to share with us about that, but I know everybody wants to know, why did you want to be the police?
Well, I was born and raised here in Lexington, and I graduated from Bryan Station High School, and I started at the University of Kentucky. Being a young man coming from a family of 10 kids and a single parent home, it was impressed upon me that I had to get a job and I had to support my way. The job I had didn't have very good benefits, didn't have an insurance plan, didn't have a pension plan. So I'm sitting at the University of Kentucky looking at the Kentucky Colonel, and lo and behold, I saw a job for a police officer. Didn't know anything about it. Only thing I knew about policing was what I saw on TV. I applied for it, and I got hired. And not only did I get hired, my cousin, who I grew up with, he got hired as well. And I wasn't one of those people that had a longing desire to be a police officer. I was somebody, just like somebody today. I was out looking for a job. I was out looking for a job that had benefits that would be there for the future. And this job had that. So that's why I joined.
Well, I think, Nicole, I believe it turned out pretty good for him.
Absolutely.
So now you're Lexington's top cop.
And you got to understand, to take this job, I had to drop out of school. But what people don't realize is that this job is more than just taking people to jail. You can really go in any direction that you want to. When I started this job, I dropped out of college, got on the patrol, then I became a dare officer, then I became a narcotics detective, then a supervisor of the narcotics unit. And I basically went through every bureau in the police department, and I learned something each time. Each time I learned something that made me a better person. Not only that, this job gave me the opportunity to finish out my education and get my degree, and then go further. It allowed me to get my master's degree. There's not very many places you can do that. I can do that and still have fun.
That's true.
And you can make this job what you want. People only see the negative stuff about policing on the news or some of the dangerous stuff. But the people you come into contact with, the friends you make, and I'm talking not just people you wave and say hi to, but I'm talking about lifelong friends. The people in the community that you get to help, or you get to make their day brighter. Those are the kind of things that they don't show you on TV or show you in the movies, but those things happen far more than the things you see in the media.
Right.
So, Chief, where do you see at the present state? Where do you see the Lexington Police Department?
I see us in a good position. Now, obviously, just like police departments across the country, we have a shortage of personnel. But I see us overcoming that. The negative events from 2020 until now that keep people away from policing, we've got to actively work to change those. And the way we do that is for people to see us as we are. We're not out here trying to harass people, trying to take people to jail. We're out here basically trying to keep the peace. And I've told recruit officers this several times that, yeah, we are the thin blue line, but you have to remember about that line. That line is not above or below anything. It is equal. It's not a barrier to keep people out, and it's blue and it's bright. It's to attract people to you. So those people who need help, those people who need information, those people who need guidance, that's what we're here for. That's what keeps the peace.
So obviously recruiting and getting folks through the door to actually begin their career with Lexington Police Department is a challenge for us now, and one that we're learning how to overcome. And what are some other things going on in Lexington right now that you as the chief see as your job to fix?
Well, yeah, everybody wants to talk about gun violence. That's not just the police's job to fix. That's the whole community's job to address. So if I'm trying to attract officers here and I'm trying to make an impact in the community, the best way to do that is to sell the community as a whole. Lexington is a great place to work, a great place to play, and a great place to live. And that's what attracts people to any area. The only way we can be that way is for us to work in partnership, not just with other governmental agencies, but with community people and with businesses and even our school systems. We have to work. We have to work with all of those people, and we all have to realize that we're all trying to achieve the same goal, and that's to have a safe, healthy place to live.
So where do you see the future moving forward?
The future of policing?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. One thing we have to realize about policing is that it's going to change. Looking at the calls that we respond to now, or we have responded to in the past, the calls that we respond to now are different. The expectations of policing are different. I think since we were, us and the fire department, since we are the only game in town that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we're expected to respond to everything. But let's face it, if it ain't on fire, it ain't sick. Who gets the call? Right. Police. And now I think the mentality is shifting. Maybe some things the police shouldn't respond to. Mm-hmm. Some mental health crisis may not need a police officer at that time. It may need something else. So what I see in the future is I see a lot more entities changing to not just fit the 9-to-5 business model concept, but a 24-hour service-oriented concept, much like what police and fire and a lot of other city agencies do. I mean, and that's the way I see it coming. The training for police is going to be more trauma-informed, because we can't just go into a neighborhood and think that we know best on how to control their issues or how to solve their problem. We're gonna have to have input from them, and we're gonna have to have understanding as how they got to the place that they are and how we can back that up and get them to a better place.
Well, you know, since I've been on the police department, Lexington has always advocated community partnerships, involvement with the community, working together. And I agree 100% that that's very important to do that. The tools in police work have changed a lot. I know when I came on the police department, we didn't have mobile data computers. We didn't have, we barely had cell phones, I guess, when I came on. So looking forward as far as technology and how we do our job, how's that going to change?
Well, and you're right about that, because when I came on, the technology we had was like, it was I don't know what you call it now, but we used to call it back then an ink pen. That was the technology we had back then. Well, now, you know, we had to use a map, actually unfold a map to find out where we are. And now officers today, when we ask them where they are, just a minute, boop, they push a locator on their cell phone and can tell you exactly where you are. Technology and policing, and that is the future. And when you stop and you think about that, you know, we've looked at electronic monitoring devices to help us with that, but it goes so much further than that. What about DNA? You know, what about electronic language devices that help you understand what somebody else is saying? Those things are the future. I mean, when we show up on a call now, not only do we know who we're looking for, we got a picture of them. You know, not only that, we've got information to show whether or not they actually live there or where they have lived. I mean, it's just, the future of policing is not going to necessarily mean us responding to a call quickly, but might mean more when we respond to a call, do we have the right resources that are available to help us solve whatever issues are there?
Yeah, technology is definitely changing, and that's what we're going to actually be talking about next month. And next month's episode is the Real-Time Intelligence Center. And so we're going to answer a lot of questions about flock cameras and traffic cameras and some of the technology tools that we're using now for the police department. This first episode we're airing in October. So you being a father, we got Halloween coming up, right?
And trick or treat.
Trick or treat. So do you have, we're going to try to include some safety tips and some ways that the community can stay safe in a lot of our episodes. So since we had you on here today, and we're hoping that we've got some pictures of you trick-or-treating when you're about 7 years old, but I don't know if we'll find those or not.
I don't know if they had cameras back then.
Well, so do you have any advice that you would want to give other parents out there, other guardians that may have some young people getting ready to be trick-or-treating during the Halloween season?
Well, my first piece of advice is not really to the parents, but to the other people out there, especially those driving. Be aware, be alert that it is Halloween, that it is trick-or-treat, that there are going to be young people out there and they are going to be excited, and they might not look both ways before you cross the street. Now, that segues into the trick-or-treater. Look both ways before you cross the street. Parents, make sure you look both ways as well. If there's a sidewalk, use the sidewalk. If there are traffic lights, cross with the traffic lights. Don't cross in the middle of the street or anything like that. Definitely don't come out from between parked cars or anything like that. Take the time, walk to the next corner. When you send your kids up to the door and they knock, make sure you're there. Make sure you're present. Make sure you're watching. That ain't the time to be on your phone.
Right.
You need to pay attention to your kid. And that's not the time for your kids to eat candy. Wait till you get home, go through the candy, and then after you feel certain that it's okay, let them have some in moderation.
And the parent keeps the rest, right?
And
Yes,
take a flashlight. Yeah, take a flashlight. Make sure the clothing that they have on is reflective or bright and not dark.
All right. Great advice for Halloween coming up. So, Nicole, I think we got this first one wrapped up here, right? So we are very, very excited about this program. And again, thank you very much, Chief. I have an opportunity with what I do to speak to community groups and neighborhoods and all different types of groups throughout Lexington. And I get a lot of questions about you. And I always tell folks that you're a great chief, but you're a great person. And I mean that. You really are. And we're very, very fortunate to have you at the helm of the Lexington Police Department.
Well, listen, not just because you said that, but y'all did a great job, so you still have my full support.
Outstanding. So episode 2 is going to be coming up.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thank you very much.